future people, welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce, and today we're going to have a look at the Enclave. So, secret game, time for the first unboxing. The Enclave is one of the box sets that's available for the Faeries in Moonstone, because the Faeries is the faction that caught my eye. I did look at quite a number of factions, but I kept on coming back to the to the Faeries, because they're the ones that really stood out to me as something I wanted to do. This is the box set that most of the members were recommending that I start with. Apparently this is just an easier place to start. But I ended up buying all of them, as you know. But let's have a look first at what they recommended and see what we think. Alright, so here we are looking at the Enclave. Lovely artwork on the front, which doesn't really surprise me at this point. Just continues around the box, as opposed to having different images. So you could actually split this box apart and have artwork. You just have to pick where you do your cut. I would probably do the cut down and just remove that. Oh no, there's a section there. So if you were to very carefully pull that open, you could essentially create a poster out of this box. On the top we have a continuation of the artwork on the back. So in theory, as you can see, it's all one piece of art. I kind of like that. On the back, gives you a view of the actual models themselves. I'm very interested to see what colour the resin is, because everything on the website is this colour. I don't know if the resin itself is or not. I'm just curious to see if it is. On the back, the description tells you a little bit about the game and what comes in it. Not anything about the characters themselves. So, what's up with that card, shall we? Alright. Shall we have a look at the minis? I think we should have a look at the minis. First things first. No, it's not orange. Honestly, I honestly didn't know. I'm not complaining about that. It's just, I was just curious to see if those colours on the website were just for show, or if it had something to do with the actual minis themselves. And clearly it's just part of the art style on the website, which is fine. Like I said, I was just curious. This is the fencer, and just in case you weren't already aware of how tiny this thing is, this is a fairly regular sized mini. This is a gentleman called Itsunagi from Bushido, and as you can see, these guys are tiny. I mean, they're fairies, you kind of expect them to be tiny, but it's just worth noting. Now, in saying that, Tito also comes with scenery. That's got the wings, and Tito appears to be on a tree. Now, here's the thing I want to say about this. Firstly, I love the fact that this is a thing. But secondly, there is absolutely nothing about this mini that means that you must put this on the tree. Nothing at all. Like, there's nothing that's connected. I mean, obviously, you can do it, but you don't have to. And that is huge. I'm guessing that we're going like that or something. The reason I'm pointing that out is because Games Workshop, when they do scenic bases, quite regularly kind of force you to have to use it. And in saying that, if you were to go on a different basing strategy, then hey, look, I've got a bit of scenery. I've got a bit of terrain already. It just kind of makes sense to me. So, I'm quite liking Fencer. So, Tito also comes with a little bit of scenery. Not quite as big as the other one. Gorgeous looking. There's quite a bit of flashing on these, which is fine. That just means that I need to clean the flashing off. But there is quite a lot of it. There was on the other one as well. This is a little bit crisper. These are the wings. I mean, they are nice and thick, but they still look like they're delicate, if that makes any sense. Working the hair in with it kind of does make sense. Even smaller again. And last but not least, we have the fancy one. So this is Freya. Again, there is a lot of flashing here. There's also quite a number of very small pieces that you're going to have to be very careful of. For example, here on the side is actually part of the mini. You're going to want to be very careful with that, especially when you're washing it. If you were to be too rough with your toothbrush, you would break those off. You're going to want to be very careful with those fingers as well. Nice big chunky wings. They don't quite look as delicate as the other ones, but I do like them. And there's actually a significant post there to hold them in place. And we've got the base. So she's got like swirling magic that's appearing around her. So this is connected to the base itself. Then it appears to be this one, and then that one. Just judging on how it looks there. I quite like that. Again, it's something that you could completely ignore if you wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm very clearly going to be doing it that way. But if you wanted to completely ignore it, you could. And one last time, for a point of comparison. So she is the taller of them, but only because her hair is standing up. Otherwise, she's about the same height as the others. They're all relatively the same size. And, look, to be fair, these things are fairies. So you would expect them to be smaller. Now, obviously, in most mythology, fairies are like, what, this big compared to me? So obviously that's not the case in this world. But I quite like the balance that they're finding. They still feel small, they still feel delicate, but they're not ridiculously tiny. I mean, if you was to have this in comparison to 28mm, you would be painting something that you're not going to see. So I quite like the balance that they've found here. As for the quality of the resin, like I said, there is quite a lot of flashing on it, so there is a little bit of that I'm going to have to deal with. But it's nothing that a little bit of a toothbrush can't fix. It's just a matter of being careful. So, there we go with our first look at the Malifaux models. Like I said, there's been quite a few of these that have some rough edges. There's quite a lot of flashing there, and like tiny little bits of flashing. It's nothing that's a huge concern. This should all be very easily cleaned up. Obviously, I will give a little bit more of an impression of that later on. It'll be interesting to see how the other ones hold up in comparison to this one. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time,